What up? Schmoedown Rockers. I didn't want y'all to suffer the last time I went dark. So, I'm going to have a little more extra light. Or at least a better sense of semi-natural lighting. Hold on a second. Okay, I couldn't wait to talk about it, alright? Damn. Them diamond hands and laser eyes are looking mighty fine today. I'm telling you. And you know, can I say I kind of called it? Can I say kind of called it? And by that I mean who would wind up winning the tournament by this point, given how semifinals were played out. Hold on a second. Okay, I think we're done with people now. So, I feel bad for Janine the most. At least in terms of what Janine was pulling off, she kept the stars from being dead last. So good for her on that. But I was hoping she had this run, man. I was hoping she would finally, get that chance, But good for Barbarian, at least this in the sense that now looking at how things, living how he played, either of them played. I had a feeling that them wound up playing. I had a feeling of how this was going to go down. This was going to go down no matter what, because of the fact earlier in this we already had one hell of a semifinals match already between, even though like both matches had ridiculous round ones questions, though that seemed to have not been nearly as much the case, or maybe they were, but somehow they made sure to study up for it, the exchange, so they didn't look bad. Because yeah, overall what we wound up getting was, unfortunately, Janine had a terrible round one, but she did all right. But Barbarian winds up taking the victory because she just couldn't pull the 5 this time around. Well, she missed her 3 and her 5 because the decades suck. The decades were before her time, and mine, essentially, but I wouldn't have known any of them either. I think I might have gotten the 80s one, but then what we had earlier before that match was the semifinals. We had Bibbs and Griffey News, which I knew was going to be a scrap, which had to be a scrap, and I'm glad it lived up to it. And I think Bibbs would have taken it had he not missed his 3, of course. And then this match, I think the big thing that has screwed him up was that screwed Barbarian up mostly was his round 4, and that's the thing I think that I should have figured in. Fucking trucker motherfuckers. Nice. I don't make this for kids. I know it wants to make a family show, but it's a lot harder to do. I have a hard enough time getting it, but anyways. Fuckers. Fuck it. Okay, and then of course after all this matchups, and then we finally get the Finstock Exchange match, and it turns out a lot better than we thought it was going to be. Or at least I was worried for Griffey for just a brief period, but then the 4th round reminded me of why, and that was the fact that the team's finals match for King Arthur was what helped edge out Griffey in this match, because he got experience in 5-rounders over Barbarian at this point. So I kind of knew that was going to happen. So I kind of knew, but this was by the point where things got even more interesting. And luckily, not even the Finstock Exchange themselves can TKO each other. Figure that. But now, hopefully, Dungeon could do our part and keep corruption from getting their thing, and then all Gucciverse wins all around. Think about it that way. Or at least I'm hoping Parker does his job, because he's all we got right now. Dungeon. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, you know what? Fuck it. Go ahead, Finstock Exchange. Win this thing. At this point, we'll do what we can to keep corruption out of here. Mike don't need it. Mike don't need more accolades than IG. He's done enough in there as it is. Parker needs it more. Granted, that's the thing. He has nothing to lose. But you know, that means he'll get too cocky. And he won't even try, and he might have what happened last time when Smets faced him, a spectacular. I'm hoping that's not the case, actually. I want Parker's win to be more earned than that, and not what happened at finals against Saul. Which I think even he was disappointed about it, too. I think he even told me during a Zoom chat. But anyways, vroom, whatever. Sorry, I'm in a mood because I hate the fact that daylight savings and everything ruins time for me. So, and, you know, I got hunting and stuff because the second week of hunting because I got nothing last weekend. So I had to do it this way. And y'all need a natural light, and I didn't want to leave y'all in the dark. Or, like, too dark. So, but yeah. And then it to where he passed so much, it was like, oh my God, Griffey has a shot now. It's like... And then overall, and then unfortunately, even I, who've seen Home Alone 2, Lost in New York many times, even I had a hard time figuring out who it was. I don't think anybody knew that one. So that was a 5. Hell, I felt like a 10. I'll give him that. Even I had a hard time. A lot of people do, because I don't remember what they said for the answer, or if they even cared to give the answer out. That's the thing. I'd have liked to have known. But anyways, what a way to cap off the digital era. Finally, we're going to get the spectacular. We now have, with my predictions for the spectacular, or at least what I'm hoping at the very least will happen. Okay, so Dan's going to, you know, finally show up, going to pretty much show up Roca. I think it'll be a barn burner of a match, though. And Roca's going to at least put up a fight, or at least I hope he does, and he doesn't have what he's been doing these past couple seasons, which I don't think he will, since it's in front of a live crowd and he has something to feed off of. I think he'll have a shot, so it'll be a more interesting match. But I'm gonna give it to Dan, because, you know, despite him not gonna be able to give us points or anything, I don't care. He's still Dungeon. He's still wearing it proud. And I want him to still be part of the Dungeon, despite what Christian and Ben, despite Christian at this point. Start Team Danger Zone. Team Danger Zone for life, bitch. But yes. Also, apparently there's a pedal out there called Danger Zone. I had to send it to them. I had to send it to Ben anyway. I thought he'd get a kick out of that. But anyways, just from random happenstance, I'm just smile. Sorry. But anyways, I really am going to hope that Parker does what we need to do in the Dungeon. I'm hoping for that. And for that IG belt to come back home to Dungeon, where it belongs. And Parker is the one to do it, as Smets had preached the gospel on it himself. So I believed him. I believed that, and I've known Parker was a good player. I think I knew he was IG. I didn't realize that he was that great until he showed the fuck up against Ace. He may as well give credit for making Ace a better Star Wars player for a brief period of time, or more so or less, he just got lucky given what we wound up getting out of Andrew DiMolanta to this year for the most part, until he chose to retire, to lay low for the rest of the season, because he did what he needed to do anyway. He proved what he had to, and hopefully he can maybe do it again next season. We'll see what that does, though I would rather hope to, I don't know, depending on that. Oh yeah, we still yet to address the whole Adam Witt situation, Kaiser situation, but I'm not as worried about that. I was more worried about a couple other things, because we finally had that figured out through the storyline saying that they were setting up from the pay-per-view, and then this. I kind of, by the point of Dan's unfortunate loss in round 3 to Janine, I kind of figured it was got to be him. There was no way it wasn't. And it turned out it was, so it was less surprising. But the thing about it that made it more interesting is finding out how the match and everything was going to go down. And of course, it makes sense to make it a 5-round match. You know, I'm glad for that. It just feels right between these two champions to form big former champions that pretty much were the foundation of this entire league to have this kind of a match. Very Hulk Hogan versus The Rock kind of a feel. Well, I don't know if I would put it that way or not. You could, but I don't know. Then there's there's some that I think will be 50-50. Mostly the main event championship match, but that mostly will all depend on how Griffey is gonna, if Griffey will still be able to perform 100%, given King Arthur. Even though he'll claim he's Arthur Nooms and that, and Griffey Nooms here, but you know, it is what it is. And yes, and your winner, down, Griffey Nooms, who won. I should have done that earlier, and I forgot. And it's possible, and that's my vote as well for his potential match, if depending on how that goes. If not, then Marisol could take it. But it's a 50-50 shot with that. Star Wars belt, from the way things are looking, I don't know. More likely Harper could retain this, actually. But don't think they should sleep on Nikki necessarily. But given the way she played these past couple matches, I don't think she's gonna have enough in her. And she's never played a live event, and neither has. So it's gonna be interesting because finally we get a Star Wars match where it's no Damon whatsoever. So it's gonna be interesting, without question. I don't know who I got. I want to say Harper probably. I could see Demi pulling it, but I don't know. And then I could see Griffey. Then I can see when it comes to like I said, the IG belt there, and then also finally addressing the elephant in the room of the whole situation, where it seems clearly what the initial plan that Chandru had for Last Chance of Relevance just went out the window, which was a good laugh. Even though he's going to try to do something to stir up some shit, even though we just saw this, so it's just not going to work. And it's not just going to come off as well, at least not to the audience, if they allow him to go into the match and turn it into a triple threat. I don't want that. Nobody does. Nobody does. And I think I'm hoping that they do something else about it. And then I don't know how they're going to handle that. Is just that whole storyline is done now, as far as I'm concerned. And if they try to even readdress it in it, it's going to look stupid, I think. So I don't know. Or at least it's just going to make Chandru look. I mean, I understand you want to make Chandru look more like a heel, but at the same time, you're doing it at the price of possibly taking down a peg your own product, and I don't think you should do that. It's just this. I'm glad you finally addressed this and got it out of the way. Just let this be it. Let this be it, and let's just have Oyama do what he needs to do and cash in whichever one he wants to for whatever match. At this point, I kind of don't care which one he picks, except not really. It's probably not going to be IG though, but I do hope it's we know it's going to be singles or teams. I just don't know if he'll want to, knowing Oyama and how he has been with live events, I think he'll want to do the teams thing instead, and I think it'd be a better idea to allow, because I still predict that despite how Final Exam seemed to have imploded, I don't think that match should be the last type of match they should play, and I think they should play a lights out 5-round match in a championship style against whoever wins that team's belt. It would be a much better idea than just, even though he may save it for possibly doing that, but if he plays like he did the last couple times he does a live event, I'm not too keen about him even cashing it in at Spectacular at this point, now that I think about it. That's just why I think teams will be better, because you'll have someone to go off of. Though the real question is, who is he going to bring back them and do that? Or if he does teams, or is he going to get a new partner completely? Which could have been Chandru if he just shut the fuck up. But anyways, that I don't know how that's going to be addressed itself. Overall, I'm looking more forward to Spectacular. I wish I could go to the live events itself. I just can't afford it, for one thing, because California is expensive as shit, and very expensive as shit, and 3, apparently a last-minute wedding's going on with somebody I know. So I may not make it anyway, either way, but I'll probably definitely catch it through the once it airs, immediate, like through the Patreon, of course. You'll still have my money, regardless, I guess, some way. But yeah, those are my predictions, and I think I can say we're gonna have at least a week off or so. So yeah, I don't have to worry about talking for a while until Spectacular happens. Neat. And I can now focus on music stuff because it's getting close to that time. And then Christmas stuff happening. Oh, that's going to be rough. But anyways with that, because I still got to do a catch up, and I haven't had yet a chance to. I wanted to do it earlier so people had more of a time to enjoy those albums. But yeah, time gets by me and life just moves on. But what did you guys think of the matches? What did you think of how the things have finally led to Spectacular, to the road to Spectacular? What are your predictions going into Spectacular? What did you think of the semifinals, finals, all this stuff? Are you now happy to finally go back to doing live events, and then hopefully get to see studio matches again? Hopefully proper ones, and not what we kind of sort of got with the last team's belts match. I liked it, but it didn't feel right without having an audience there. I'm just saying. I mean, because I didn't hear an audience there, and it was just, I felt like they were just taking GPA's thing or something and borrowing it for a little bit. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. If you like this video, rock that like button with your rest you must. Link in the description below. Also, before you do that, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, click all to get all my videos. Also, link in the description below. I think we still have the GoFundMe for Ben's funding for the back surgery, for at least to pay the insurance and bills for the back surgery, and his and so for the refunding of tours and funding of tours in general. Because anybody who's willing to be a more hardworking musician and put themselves out there to the point where they had to basically put all of it out on the line on this, because he kind of. But anyways, and then link in the description also to the dungeon page. Still, for the time being, home of the GOAT, the one, and still will only be five-time movie trivia Schmoedown singles champion of the world, Dangerous Dan Merle, who will be beating your ass, Rogan. Guarantee it. He'll get you this time one-on-one. But you'll put up a fight. I believe that. I don't not expect that. I hope you don't disappoint. That everyone that goes to that, and all of your Outlaw Nation in the process. Because it's more you that's at risk than Dan at this point. He's got to play more than you. He's got more on you this year, despite how things turned out compared to his past seasons. And it does suck that he didn't defend on, the one time when he's playing Dungeon Ball. It sucks, but, he's going to make up for it when he kicks your ass. But anyways, that's just my prediction. And as far as I'm concerned, now KUD that, suckers! Because as far as I'm concerned, we dig it. I will see. This is Rockin' Movies with Tyler. This channel is Rockin' Movies with Tyler. I've been Tyler. You've watched Schmoedown Rocks. I'll see you Schmoedown Rockers later. Take care, y'all.